All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It looks like we have maybe some folks out in the lobby still. If everyone can come on in and get settled, we'd like to get started here in the next minute or so. Wow, everyone quieted down fast. Whew. Anybody out there? Hello? All right, well, it looks like the doors are closed. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to 2025 One Village event. You know, it's really fun being around Beaver Creek this week, being up in the lobby today, and kind of feeling a lot of the anticipation and excitement for the winter season. It never gets old. You do this over and over again, and that run up to the season is always so exciting. So I appreciate all of your energy and enthusiasm, and I always really love watching the village come together. I had a handful of conversations just out in the lobby about, the village is really coming together nicely, and it's so fun to watch the seasonal transition from the beautiful flowers to the winter wonderland that we're bringing online right now, and I think by this time next week, it's going to be pretty spectacular out there. So I really appreciate everyone being here today. My name is Jim Clancy. I'm the executive director at the Beaver Creek Resort Company, and we're really glad to have all of you here today for One Village. So why are we here? What is One Village all about? I know a lot of you have been here before. There's a lot of familiar faces, but some of you may not know. One Village started in 2016, so this is the 9th year we've been doing this. And it's really proven as a great opportunity to pull everybody from the village together. Talk about, one, what can we expect for the upcoming winter season? What are some of the events and activations that are going to be going on? And also to bring us all together to talk about providing that unified, exceptional guest experience at every touch point for our guests. So real quick, I want to start with answering the question some of you might be wondering, which is, who is the Beaver Creek Resort Company? The easiest way to think of us is we're like the town of Beaver Creek. We're committed to representing all of the constituents here in the Beaver Creek community, and that includes all of our lodging partners, the mountain, obviously, all the retailers, the amazing restaurants we have, and all of our restaurants. And our role is to really support every aspect of the Beaver Creek community. In addition to all of our sort of operational obligations, we're always thinking about how we can support the Beaver Creek through very carefully curated strategic investments, signature events, and village activations. Everything we do is really focused on building Beaver Creek's legacy as a luxury destination that families will fall in love with. The greatest impact in achieving this happens when we all come together and exceed our guest expectations on a daily basis. I've been working here in Beaver Creek for the better part of the last 28 years, and I can honestly say that every year I'm pretty amazed at how well all of the employees here understand our culture of service. I'm routinely amazed by how this culture seems to permeate every new employee as they come into the resort. It always reminds me of a story from when I first started. My first year here in 1997, I was a rookie ski patroller, and I was out on the hill. I was feeling pretty good about things. I was feeling myself. I'm excited to be here. I've got this. And I was with a senior patroller, and I was skiing down with some bamboo on my shoulder to take care of some project. And I'm skiing with this other guy, and we're skiing along, and all of a sudden I realized he wasn't with me anymore. I'm looking around, and I'm going, uh-oh, did I make a wrong turn? What'd I do? And I stand there for a minute, and I'm like, oh man, if I get on the radio and call right now, it's gonna be really embarrassing. And all of a sudden, he came skiing around the corner, and he looked at me, and he goes, you know what you did? And I said, did I make a wrong turn? Am I in the wrong place? He said, no, you're where you're supposed to be. I said, did I forget something I was supposed to bring? And he said, no, you've got everything you need. He said, you skied past a family up there that was standing there with a trail map out. I was like, oh. He's like, at Beaver Creek, when it's obvious somebody's looking for a hand, we stop and give them a hand. And in that moment, day one, the light bulb went off, and I knew what guest service at Beaver Creek meant. And to me, I think about that story all the time because it really encapsulates how that legacy of service gets passed down every year. So at the Beaver Creek Resort Company, we're always looking for opportunities to enhance and modernize the community. We always start by considering the level of refinement and vibrancy that our guests have come to expect. These enhancements include things like Creekside Park. If you haven't been there yet, we opened it this summer. I suggest you go down and check it out. It's spectacular. We have the Hawk's Nest Cabin and our ever-evolving signature events. All these things are designed to enhance the guest experience. And these enhancements are super important, but they really come to life by way of the elevated service that each of you provide. Hawk's Nest Cabin is a great example of that. Hawk's Nest Cabin is a spectacular location for kids. And kids come in and it's got everything they would want. But what really brings that space to life is Riley and his team. When they welcome in these kids, yeah. They welcome kids in, they welcome families in, they make sure they get to know them, they make sure they know what they're interested in, and they provide those experiences for them. They don't just sit back and let the kids figure it out on their own, although the kids will do that. So that's just a great example of how as much as we have going for us, it's those touch points that really make the difference. One thing we definitely know about our guests here at Beaver Creek is they think about their time here as a singular experience, whether they're checking in at the Beaver Creek Lodge, heading up to ski school for a beautiful day on the mountain, shopping at Base Mountain Sports, having a great meal at Hooked or opera at the Coyote, or even having a great time here at the Villar at a spectacular performance. In our guest eyes, these are not a series of individual businesses. They're all part of their Beaver Creek experience. And we want to align every touch point that our guests experience to be extraordinary and welcoming. So no matter what you do here, regardless of the product you deliver, we want you all to be successful. But we also want you to recognize the importance and take pride in the product that we all have in common. And that is the service we provide to our guests while they're visiting us. Our guests who return every year have come to expect this, and that's why they choose to return year over year to make their family memories. And our new guests, when they come here, they're going to feel that difference, and hopefully they're going to decide to come back year after year with their families to make their memories. It's the people, it's each of us that really differentiates Beaver Creek. So today we want to help provide you with some really important information that'll really help you better serve the guests. We are so incredibly fortunate to share this presentation with you all today here in the Villar. This space, this theater, really aligns with the experience we want our guests to feel. This is the perfect place to deliver this message. So I want to thank Cameron and the entire Villar team for hosting us today and welcoming us here today. Thank you, guys. I also want to thank the entire Beaver Creek Resort Company team. This was a big effort to pull this together, and I specifically want to call out Erin Jarvis for her tireless commitment to elevating this event each and every year. So we have a really informative program for you today. We have a lot of great presentations. We have a really fun, interactive village activity after we're done with the presentations, and then we're going to wrap up in Ford Hall for an opportunity to taste some of our culinary offerings and to have a raffle, which for those of you who've been here before, the raffle is spectacular. So to kick us off, I'd like to welcome Bobby Murphy, who is the Chief Operating Officer and Vice President of Beaver Creek Resort and also the President of the Beaver Creek Resort Company Board of Directors.
Thank you, Jim, and thank you for your leadership being our Executive Director of the Beaver Creek Resort Company. Good morning, everybody. What an awesome day to see everybody here. Super excited about the season upcoming and really excited to share my stoke for being here to kick off another great season. So I want to start by talking about and presenting the vision of Beaver Creek, right? We want and are focused on being the world's best luxury family resort. And why? Well, people have told us, our guests have told us, that we're the luxury resort where families fall in love with skiing and riding, right? When you think about our signature parks, between the newest McCoy Park, up at the top of the mountain, Red Buffalo, and of course Hay Meadow down at the base, there are so many places where people can learn to ski, but also improve their skiing and have fun up on the mountain. And we do that and support our vision through our brand spires. So legendary attention to detail. I want to take a second to talk about this brand spire because legendary attention to detail has been developed over many, many years here at Beaver Creek. I am so fortunate, all of us here as employees and leaders at Beaver Creek, to stand on the shoulders of so many leaders and people before us to set this standard of legendary attention to detail. It's about picking up that piece of trash, pushing in that chair, making sure that our runs are groomed with an amazing surface and corduroy surface for our guests. Whatever it might be for you and your responsibility here at Beaver Creek, focusing on legendary attention to detail is so important to the tradition of what we have here at Beaver Creek. What does that mean? Well, what you're willing to walk past is what you're willing to accept. So think about that. When you're in your operation, when you're maybe walking through the village, are you willing to accept passing by something that needs to be fixed? And if you can't fix it, make a phone call. I'm a big fan of see something, do something. If you can't do something, see something, say something to someone. That idea of legendary attention to detail is so important. It's one of our brand spires that upholds that vision. Another is us being perpetual hosts, right? Think about that and how we welcome people to the Beaver Creek community. Us being perpetual hosts is about connecting with people. You've probably heard this from me before if you've heard me speak, but I live by the 20-10-5 rule. 20 feet away, we're making eye contact, we're smiling, we're waving, we're making that connection as the guest approaches us or we approach a guest. 10 feet away, good morning, good afternoon, welcome to Beaver Creek, thank you for being here. 5 feet away, it looks like you need some help, Aaron. Can I help you find something? Can I help answer a question for you today? That idea of being a perpetual host is so important. And it's not just people that are in the front of the house positions, right? I'm thinking like the retail salesperson or the ski instructor or the lift operator that's front of the house. But it's also people that are in what we call the back of the house. Maybe that's a cook or somebody, a dishwasher, a snowmaker, a groomer. I was on a plane recently, and you've probably seen this as you travel. The pilot, they're responsible for flying the plane. But they take the time at the end of the flight to come out of the cockpit to thank people for flying with United or Delta, whoever it might be, to make that connection. I think of that often when, if you don't have anybody in your store, are you sitting in the back of the store? Are you maybe stepping out to the front of the store and standing at the doorway, welcoming people? I was at Disney one time, and we walked in when Disney opened the doors, and all of a sudden, I saw all of these people welcoming people to the Disney experience. And I thought, it's a genius, right? There's nobody in their stores. Why wouldn't they be outside welcoming people to the park when we're coming into the park? So that idea of us being perpetual hosts is so important to Beaver Creek. Last but not least, our rarefied experiences, right? Think about cookie time every day at 3 o'clock. The birds of prey that are going to be happening here in just a couple weeks. So many opportunities to create rarefied experiences here at Beaver Creek, and that's the foundation of who we are and what we're about, our brand spires. Last but not least, I want to share that our tagline, not exactly roughing it, has been around for years. It took a little hiatus, but it's been back now over the last 2, and I have an awesome commercial to share with you around our tagline, not exactly roughing it, and to me, it really summarizes what Beaver Creek is about.
As you're waking up, we're giving the snow its daily manicure. As you're getting ready, we're preparing to guide you through a work of art. As you adjust to mountain time, we'll help set your internal clock to cookie time. When you're here, we'll show you that even adventure has a finer side. Beaver Creek, not exactly roughing it.
Awesome, and that'll be shown during the Birds of Prey race here in a couple weeks as well. So without further ado, I want to transition and introduce our next speaker, Danielle McNair, our Director of Sales at the Beaver Creek Lodge. Danielle, come on up. Thanks, everybody.
All right, let's get in the know. All right, so I'm going to introduce some new Beaver Creek merchants and our North Face Summit Series. They'll be going into where our old Patagonia kids are. House of Cuckoo Now let's get our Western on. That'll be our Western high-end custom boots. Yeehaw. All right. And Elevation Recovery Spa. This is going to be new to the charter. What's better than a day of skiing and to end it with a massage? Their soft opening is going to be sometime around the next 2 weeks. So keep a lookout for that. And Miss Minturn Whiskey Speakeasy. They are moving in. I know, it was a really cool addition this summer. They're moving into our new Slifer space, our older Slifer space. It's the larger one on the plaza. And pretty cool with that is the Malibu Ski Club. They serve uniquely elevated, created products, and they're going to be in the storefront of the Speakeasy. So get your whiskey, go get your fit on, and come and enjoy some of our new Beaver Creek merchants. All right. And for culinary, we have over 20 restaurants throughout Beaver Creek, and they just range from our casual to our on-mountain, our fine dining, but two special we're highlighting today is our Michelin culinary, and these are our own. We have Mirabelle as well as Splendido. If you haven't had a chance to experience it, they're really special. What it really means to be a Michelin recognized is they're kind of a big deal. So I highly recommend take the opportunity to go and experience these restaurants. This is my 23rd season in Beaver Creek. Whoop, whoop. And for me, I love sharing my experience, this lifestyle with our guests. We have a lot of beautiful shops and delicious restaurants throughout the village. But one thing I've really learned is that guests remember how we make them feel. And having a unified Beaver Creek guest service approach, this is something special. Not everybody does this. And for us, when we think about it, if every team and every interaction has the same authentic, genuine hospitality experience, guests remember. They remember how we made them feel, and that's the magic that Beaver Creek has to offer. All right, let's talk about events. I'm going to introduce, please, Krista and Charlie, come on up.
Well, good morning. It's great to see all these happy faces. Many I know, many I'm still getting to know. We're excited to get to know you. I'm going to talk a little bit about some events, but I also want to introduce my new counterpart on the mountain side of events.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Charlie Carpenter. I am the field marketing manager here at Beaver Creek. I started in early October, so I feel like I'm the new kid on the block, but we're really excited to chat with you guys today about the exciting events we have on the hill and off the hill this winter. I feel really grateful to be here, and pass it back to Krista to talk about opening week.
Sweet. So we're going to start with opening weekend. The big one is the chocolate chip cookie competition. That is on Wednesday the 26th, which is opening day. The chocolate chip cookie competition is our legacy. As everybody knows, we give out the chocolate chip cookies at 3 o'clock every day in the village. This is in homage to that icon within Beaver Creek. We have chosen through a very serious and significant vetting process with our in-resort chefs, 5 finalists. They will have booths around the village. Every half hour, we're going to hand out 150 judging cards. All the guests, we encourage them to come be a judge and help us crown the winner. The winner will get $2,000 and some bragging rights, saying they have the best chocolate chip cookie in Eagle County. And actually, I think the world. The next part of opening weekend is our tree lighting spectacular and our holiday market. I'll start with the tree lighting. The tree lighting is on Friday. What that does, we start with some free ice skating from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. From noon to 3, we have a kids' workshop up at the Hawk's Nest Cabin. They're doing cookie decorating and some crafts up there. There's also going to be Santa, so the kids can go visit, again, from noon to 3. Then we clean the ice, and we get ready for the ice skating spectacular. That will start at 5 p.m. We have Holiday on Ice, which is a world-renowned ice skating group that comes in, and they do a bunch of numbers to a live a cappella group, as well as some canned music as well. They're kind of going in this Broadway theme, so it should be super fun. And then we cap the evening off with fireworks and a finale on the ice. It's a really, really great day to be in Beaver Creek. Then we continue the next, both Friday and Saturday, we have our holiday market. We bring in Colorado artisans and crafters, and they sprinkle around the village with some booths. Please, if you get an opportunity to kind of step away from your world, go check them out. There's some pretty amazing stuff, as well as promoting all of our in-resort brick and mortar retail establishments as well. I am going to also start talking about New Year's Eve. Sorry, the order of the slides, I have to get my chronological order here. It's been a long fall. New Year's Eve. This year, New Year's Eve, we're doing what we're calling a light circus. And when I say light circus, not light as in light-weighted, but lots and lots of light everywhere. We start with our ski down. The ski down starts at approximately 6 to 6:30. It just depends on how many people we have registered. Laura's team handles that so wonderfully. They need to register at the mountain out in front of group sales. You will probably get lots of questions about that. That's the spot. We'll have plenty of signage around the village. Then the ski down, we do a early fireworks for the youngsters that can't stay up till 10 p.m. And then we do the light circus throughout the village. There's aerialists and acrobats and break dancers and all sorts of just like sensory overload in the village. Then we haul everybody back up to the mountainside for our finale spectacular. We do a non-alcoholic champagne toast as well as a big fireworks show on New Year's Eve. I definitely encourage all the guests, retail stores, encourage your guests to make reservations in all of our restaurants. It's a nice, open, free schedule. There's nothing that they're going to miss because it will be on repetition throughout the evening. So encourage your guests to get their reservations because reservations do sell out quick. I'm going to hand it over to Charlie to talk about Alpine Table on Mountain.
Alrighty, like I was saying, we have some great events on the hill this winter that we're really excited about. I know I'm new here, but the one thing that's been really consistent to me is the excitement and the stoke that everybody has, whether it's team members, whether it's marketing, that we have towards these events. So I'm really excited to share these with you this morning. Kicking it off first with Alpine Table up at Allie's Cabin. We're going to hold this on January 16th and 17th of this new 2026 year. This event is a culmination of what our culinary team can do at our luxury fine dining cabins. And then it's also a partnership with a fantastic culinary team in Colorado. This year we're going to be working with Chef Matthew Vaughter from Rootstock out in Breckenridge. He is a James Beard award-winning chef, and we are going to be working with him to collaborate on this dinner. It's going to be a 5-course dinner with wine pairings, and overall it's going to be a fantastic evening at Allie's Cabin. We're really excited to see what our teams are able to do with this event, and you know, we're focused on those rarefied experiences here, and this is a great way for us to showcase those to our guests and to present to them a unique way to dine on the mountain. So really excited for that this winter. I am guessing I got to press the green button. All right. Next up, we have First Tracks. This is going to be presented in partnership with our SA partners, Helly Henson and American Express. Again, it falls back to rarefied experiences. How can we get people on the hill early to enjoy those gold medal grooming tracks? And this is the way we do it with First Tracks. It's a unique experience for guests to get on the hill early, to get some of those great turns, to lay in some great carves, whether it's with family members or with friends, and then afterwards to go enjoy a great buffet breakfast at Spruce Saddle. This year, it's going to be a much more accessible event, so even if you don't ski or ride, but you want to get up and have breakfast on the hill with your family, you're more than welcome to do that. Spruce Saddle obviously is very easy access from the top of Chair 6, so we're excited to open that experience up to more guests and more people alike. So really excited for this event as well. And then I'll pass it back to Krista for Pop-Up Opry.
Pop-Up Opry is our culinary surprise and delight in the village. We're doing this basically first Thursdays with the exception of New Year's Day. January 8th, February 5th, and March 5th. We have them themed out. January is going to be kind of a high-end culinary theme. February, we're giving a nod to Mardi Gras. The Villar is doing some really amazing shows here, so we're going to put a really great Zydeco band out in the village with some New Orleans-inspired food, and then March is our comfort food, and we'll do a decade span. It's a ton of fun. I highly encourage everybody to come out and enjoy. Retailers love it because we're putting the food inside the retail stores, so it creates this vibrancy, and everybody's moving around the village, so please come and enjoy. We look forward to having everybody. And then the next one is Talent Challenge. This is a partnership between the village and the mountain. Can't ski in the village, but you can ski on the mountain. So we partner up on this event. Charlie takes care of all of the fun stuff up at Talon's restaurant. And then we handle all the registration and the after party in the village. Basically, when you register, you ski the top 14 blacks and double blacks on the mountain. Once you finish for a single day, you come down to the village and you get a prize pack, which is a very, very elaborate prize pack this year. I won't spoil the alert on what it is going to be. You could also do a Master of the Mountain, which are the crazy ones. They do both days in a row. But if you get a chance, we do have an early bird special right now. If you register by the 19th of December, you can get $10 off your single day registration. Talent Challenge is an iconic event that showcases our expert terrain. If you get the chance and you have the day off, we hope you register.
Talents is going to be a good one. Trust us, it's going to be fun this year. Wrapping things up for on-mountain activations this season, we have Toyota Race Days coming up in early March. Nothing's better than some March turns on the hill, and for Toyota Race Days, this is a really fun event. It's going to get families, friends involved on our race course at the Toyota Race Center. Essentially, look to beat the fastest time, and we're going to have a DJ, we're going to have a cookout at the bottom, and we're going to have some great prizes along the way too. So great way to get friends and family involved here and get some turns on the hill. Pass it back to Krista to wrap things up. Thank you guys.
Thanks again. I also want to give a nod. Robin, Nash, and Susan Raul are my partners in crime in all things events, and right now they are setting up for the tasting. So make sure you say hi to all of them. I know they know a lot of you guys, so I just wanted to make sure. I called them out because I couldn't do it without Charlie, and I couldn't do it without them. I'm going to send it off to my good friend Sarah Frank to talk about birds of prey.
Good morning, everyone. How you doing out there? Everyone still awake? Excited? Perfect. I am going to start us off with a video that hopefully will do a good job of hyping you up for what we have coming up for us with Birds of Prey this year. Perfect. That was a little highlight reel from last year's event. For those of you that were able to be here, you may remember we had men and women last year, which was incredible. We are hoping to be able to bring a situation like that back next year again, but for this year, we're thrilled that the men are coming back. We have 4 days of racing, which is actually, for those of you who are unaware, is pretty rare for us. We normally only get to have 3, but with it being an Olympic year, we get to have an extra downhill because of the Olympic qualifiers that took out some of the races they have later in the season. So we start off the festivities on December 4th with a downhill race. That one is going to be at 11 a.m. We go again on Friday with another downhill at 11:15 a.m. Then we have a Super G on Saturday at 10:30, and then on Sunday, December 7th, is when we do our GS run, and that's when we have 2 runs. So they do the first run at 10 a.m., top 30 go again, and then essentially it's a race down to the finish. It's a really fun format. The last person that races is technically the person that's supposed to win. So it's a really exciting way to watch kind of how the final results come in. If you haven't ever watched it, I highly recommend it. Few highlights for you to know about this year's event. Again, because it's an Olympic year, we have more teams coming than we've had since 2015 when the championships were here. So 27 different nations will be here. We have literally filled pretty much every hotel in this village to the point that we're working our way down the hill with some groups. And they will start arriving Monday, December 1st. So you will see as this whole crew comes, many of them coming over from Copper, they're gonna descend upon the village here, and there's about 500 that come along with that athlete and team. We have another 600 volunteers that will be joining us this year to help put on this event. These people come out, they come from all over the country, some of them from all over the world, and they take their vacations to come here to shovel, put up nets, put up banners, and really, we like to believe it's because they feel that strongly and love the event this much, which they do, but it's also a huge kudos and thank you to you guys because they still feel like it's a vacation. So on behalf of us, thank you for the experience you continue to give them because it's why that group continues to come out. Looking at the rest of the, oh, wrong way, sorry. There we go. Wow, I'm a disaster. Here we go. New girl on the buttons. Looking at the festival, few highlights for you all to be aware of. Like I said, 4 days of racing, very exciting. Something else we found really important. Last year with the double weekends, we did a lot. Thank you very much to the help of the Beaver Creek Resort Company team and the support of Vail Resorts to really up the ante on just the entire venue setup as well as the level of bands and entertainment that we bring to this festival now. We really want it to be, yes, an incredible ski race, but also the way to kick off the winter season after tree lighting and continue that great momentum that you guys start with opening weekend. So we kept our entertainment at a really high level. We have bands starting on December 4th, Thursday in the village, as well as our entire vendor village that we call Birds of Prey Way. We have on Friday quite a bit of information with not only bands and DJs all days, but we have the U.S. athlete signing that is a big hit on that day at 3 o'clock at Gorsuch. And then we also have our bib draw that night, which is at 6 p.m. And that's where you have top 10 athletes that are gonna race the next day, get to go up and pick their order. We do a special nod to Beaver Creek, so why not use cookie chefs to be on stage with massive cookies with numbers on them to let them know when they get to race the next day. Beyond that, Saturday, we roll into a really fun day starting up on the mountain. We do free Bloody Marys to the first 100 people that make it up the hill and start it with, we like to call it our Super G up at the race Saturday kickoff, and they have a DJ going up there and a dance party to just help people get up the hill earlier. We then come back down into the village, and in the village we'll have our Beers of Prey event that day. We also have as many breweries as we've had participating this year. So there'll be 18 different breweries out in the village. They have an expanded offering. Some of them are bringing seltzers this year and just a wider level of product, so should be a fun time. And then at that same time, we have Jackie Green performing in the village, who I think will be really the headliner for the weekend. Moving from that and wrapping up in the village on Sunday, we also have Touch of Trey, a nice shout-out band that's a little bit Trey Anastasio, Grateful Dead, will be a really good time. So overall, a packed 4 days of festivities, really a reason to get people up and out and into the village. Our team is gonna come up in about a week and distribute for you all posters and mini schedules, but if you have any questions at all, bcworldcup.com is your best resource. It's where we're gonna continue to put updates up throughout the week. It's where if anything changes with course conditions or we have a change in the race schedule, you can also find it there. And it's also the full schedule of events. One thing I don't wanna miss, though I know Cameron Morgan's gonna come up and talk to you all a little bit about the Villar. The Villar is also doing an amazing amount of programming that week. We have Warren Miller here on Thursday night doing a screening on 5 at 8 p.m. We have Big Head Todd and the Monsters on Friday night, which will be a great concert at 7 p.m. And then we have Switchfoot on Saturday night. So make sure to check that out as well. And you can get to those tickets either from the Beaver Creek World Cup website or from the Villar website as well. If you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. We're really excited about it. We hope you'll send your guests. We'll hope you'll come and enjoy it yourself, but it's gonna be a really fun weekend of racing. So thanks, everyone. I am gonna bring up Laura Jodish to talk about activations.
All right, well, good morning, everybody. I am here to talk about some of our village activations, which are our daily programming and our special, fun, family, unique surprise and delight activities that we've got going on in our village for this winter. I'd like to start off with our Hawks Nest Cabin, which is our teen center. It's located above Hooked in the middle of Beaver Creek Village. This will be our third winter opening. You'll notice we have a huge chandelier that glows at night. So if you're wondering what that is Hawks Nest Cabin. You can see the dance floor in one of those photos and the chandelier. We are open daily from 2 to 9 p.m. We're going to start opening tomorrow night. Will be our grand opening for this season. Friday night, 21st. We are ages 10 to 18. We will welcome, anyone from that age to come in and experience our teen center space in the village. We've got games, dance floor, ski simulator, more table games. Jim mentioned our fantastic staff that we have. They're very engaging, and they'll play chess or Jenga or whatever with the kids, or just tell stories or riddles, So if you've got the teens in front of you and you've got the families and you're talking to them and they're checking in at your hotel or they're at your restaurant and you see the teens, 10 to 18, send them our way. Have them come in before or after dinner or while the parents are having dinner. It's a fantastic opportunity for those teens to experience Beaver Creek. Special events I have up there. We also will be offering some special offerings throughout the season. Inside Hawks Nest, like unique products. We will do a root beer tasting or movie night, movie and popcorn, pizza and movies, or I know Riley's cooking up some stuff for the Olympics, such as like games and maybe some ski simulator games, that sort of thing. We will be putting all of those special events on the This Week at Beaver Creek calendar, so please make sure that you sign up for that calendar through the resort company. It has tons of information on all the things going on daily throughout the village and on the mountain. And then we also have a signature craft bar, as you will. We've got all kinds of Pepsi products, some signature drinks that will serve up the kids, and some hot chocolate. We also have a fantastic professionally designed scavenger hunt throughout our village. This is great for families and kids of almost all ages. It's a great interactive, fun, opportunity to experience the village. It takes maybe 30-ish minutes. They get a kit. You can see some of the samples of the kit, a little cookie compass to help find their way around the clues. These kits are available at most in-resort hotel concierges or front desks. We've got them at our Lost and Found Guest Service Center, which is located next to the pass office. And I also have them at Hawks Nest Cabin. If you need kits, please contact me or stop by Hawks Nest Cabin or any of those places to get yourself some kits to hand out to our guests. This is a daily activity. There's no time on this, so this is a great thing if they're not skiing or if they're just looking for something to do before or after dinner. They can go and experience this at any time throughout the day. All right, village activations. This is things, programs like our pop-up live music, our Fossil Posse dinosaur expert that will be presenting on Saturday afternoons. We've got a character artist, that's Ken, will be coming back a couple days in the afternoons as well. And then, of course, we have Helmut Fricker joining us again in the village, and he'll be doing some afternoon performances throughout the winter. Most of these programs will be starting after Birds of Prey, and after Birds of Prey wraps up and gets, the village cleaned up. So look for our programming again on This Week at Beaver Creek. And then we will be bringing back Fun Fest on select Saturdays starting December 20th. And so our busy, I think there's 8 of them, our busy 8 Saturdays, we'll have a fun carnival in the village from 3:30 to 5 on those select Saturdays. We've got some great prizes for the kids, so if you see some families checking in or at your restaurants, please remember Fun Fest as well. Thursday Night Lights. This is our glow down, ski down product that we offer on Thursdays throughout the season. We will be starting December 18th, will be our first Thursday Night Light. Our next one will be New Year's Eve, like Krista mentioned, that's our big production. And then Going forward, we'll have Thursdays, January 8th throughout March. The times do change as we do reflect the light and the darkness changes throughout the season, and we also do reflect that. Those times will be located, if you're looking for the exact times, please reference the This Week at Beaver Creek again for those exact timing. And then there's some rules to participate. Obviously, the kids are skiing down in the dark. We don't want never-evers, right? We want them to have some level of ski or snowboard ability. Please don't send someone that's never been on the mountain to this product. Okay. That's it for me, and I would like to welcome Cameron from the Villar Center. Thank you.
All right. Hello, everybody. How are you this morning? There we are. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for coming here today. It's a privilege for us to get to host you all here, and it's so great to see you all. My name's Cameron. I'm the executive director. And just really quickly, I want to start off, thank you to Jim, the Beaver Creek Resort Company, Bobby from VR. All of you as our partners here. What we do here at the Villar, what we do here in Beaver Creek does not exist without these partnerships and relationships that we're so fortunate to have. I'm going to just kind of give you a quick overview of what we are, who we are. Obviously, you found us here today, but that is something that some of our guests may not be able to say. So as you experience the Villar and you are talking about and engaging, interacting in the village, be sure to tell folks who we are, what we are. Theater here in Beaver Creek underneath the ice rink. The ice rink is literally our ceiling. But we host a lot of different things here. So there's really something here for everyone. And as we look at our priorities and where we're focused, really as you engage with guests, share with them the breadth of what we do, from comedy to classical, iconic headliners to emerging artists. We really present the breadth of the performing arts in as many facets and formats as we can. We're so fortunate here to have a truly state-of-the-art facility with support from BCRC, from Beaver Creek Metro District, our individual donors. The capacity, the technological capacity that we have here at the Villar is truly unparalleled. And it allows us to present these incredible shows. If you're in the back of the room, I see quite a few of you are, one of the really amazing things about this space is you're only 80 feet away from me right now. So there's no need for that big iMac, zoomed in video for the back row to be able to see the performer on stage. As you came in, to check in, you saw the new upper lobby bar. It's really a beautiful reflection of what we do and how we present ourselves at the standard of excellence of Beaver Creek. I also want you to know that in addition to what we do here on stage for audiences and our destination guests, we're really focused on being a center for our community, hosting events like this, other nonprofits and organizations that we provide the space for, but also for youth and students here in our community. This year we'll host over 10,000 students from over 23 different public, private, charter school, homeschool groups here in Eagle County and beyond, completely free of charge to share the arts with them. We're also expanding our community arts access program, which is free and deeply discounted tickets. And now there is a public request portal form that if you've not received that from myself or someone on my team, make sure you reach out. Something for you to share with your staff, your friends, your network, because we believe the arts belong to everyone, and we want to ensure that they are accessible for all. Highlights here coming up this winter. We've talked about a few of them. Birds of Prey has been a huge weekend. We've got just a few here listed on the screen. But check out our full lineup on our website, villarpac.org. And I would call out the Revivalists 2 nights here. It's going to be amazing. That is what Krista was referencing as the Mardi Gras celebration with 4 nights, including 2 nights of the Revivalists. And here's what you should know. If you're engaging with guests, and how you can get involved is really spread the word. Like I said, folks may or may not know about the Villar, but we're active. Most nights, or most weeks, I would say, it's anywhere from 3 to 5 shows, depending on on the week in the ski season. If you've got staff or yourself who want to get involved behind the scenes, we'll always take some extra hands to make the shows, make them happen. And then, of course, come see a show. We'd love to have you here, whether it's through the ticket packages or through the CAA, the Community Arts Access portal. And one thing I didn't put on the slide, but I would be remiss not to mention, is in the lobby, you'll see some cards out there that they say, we want to hear from you, and we do. If there's an artist that you would love to see here at the bar, scan that QR code, fill out that form, and we'd love to make that happen here. I've got a raffle. Woo! So we are giving away, we've got 2 sets of tickets, or we've got 2 tickets to 2 different shows. We're going to do 2 drawings. The first one, we've got 2 tickets to the Sam Grossman Project. That is January 10th. And I think, Riley, if you'll bring up house lights, that'd be great. While you're doing that, and can I get a big round of applause, a big cheer, a big thank you to the Valaris production team. Really an incredible job. Thank you. All right. So the ticket drawn for 2 tickets to Sam Grossman, January 10th. We've got numbers 627305. 627305.
Perfect.
All right. And then the next pair of tickets here, we've got 2 tickets to Dark Star Orchestra, February 11th, 627440. All right, come on down. We've got tickets for you.
Sweet.
All right, last thing before I go, we've got postcards in the little lobby area for the restrooms on the doors as you go out. Take one, send one to your mom. I'm sure she'd appreciate hearing from you. With that, I'm going to bring up someone who's no stranger to the VAR. This is Christopher Whitney, Director of Mountain Operations. Thank you.
All right. Good morning, everybody. How we doing out there? Good? Yeah. My name's Chris Whitney. This will be my 4th season in the director role, but previously been at Beaver Creek for about 15 years in both guest service and mountain operations. And here to talk today about this beautiful mountain we all are going to get to enjoy here over the next 3 months. My teams have been hard at work. We start usually mid-October, and this little crazy map up here that my former boss put together is kind of how we look at strategizing to open the mountain, given the limited, well, not limited, I should say. We have to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe resourceful with the air and water that we have for the mountain and how we build it. So my dream, obviously, would be if everything on this map was green. We did phase 1, I'd make winter happen, and we'd have everything connected. Unfortunately, that's not the case. So what we look for right now and what we're deep into for the last month is that green section, so Gold Dust and the Birds of Prey race that Sarah was up here talking about, as well as the hay meadow. As we expand and look at the red sections, that's when we start to connect our villages. So we look at it from a stakeholder standpoint. The villages need to be connected, and then our ancillary business, both ski and ride school and F&B. We have 3 private cabins that we need to get guests to and members to during the day, and that kind of evolves as you see these different color schemes. So red is your sawbuck, your connection from the top of 16 Bachelor Gulch back over to the main Beaver Creek Village. And then we expand over in those blue sections to welcoming our Arrowhead community and being able to connect them as well. And then we kind of come back after we've got the 3 villages connected. We start to fill in the dots, whether it's a Cabin Fever, a Cresta, the expressway over into Larkspur, and then a lot of the front side mountain and the Toyota Race Center and under Chair 6 there. So a very complex system. We ruthlessly prioritize. My teams are out there right now. I have grooming, snowmaking, the competition services under my purview. We are capturing every last drop when the temperatures are right. And as you all know, it's definitely not the winter we had last year, but we're hopeful that the forecast is going to change and we'll be able to play some catch up. The other thing I want to talk about is once we get to this full operating footprint, which will hopefully be by mid-January, we're implementing a new grooming strategy this year. So it stands on 3 pillars. It's the 37 core trails that I'm talking about right here that you see outlined in these 5 different colors. That's what we strive for every single night. Once we're at full operating footprint, all the snow is on the ground that we've been made by the end of January, we're going to rinse and repeat that 7 days a week. However, what we realized we were missing maybe the last couple years is having some type of predictable cadence to our grooming. And so what we're looking to this year bring back is every Thursday, you're going to be able to see Kestrel groomed. Every Friday, we'll see Kestrel groomed. Saturday, we're going to try and bring back the Birds of Prey race course every Saturday. So that's going to be awesome from the top of Chair 9. And then Sundays, we'll see Raven Ridge into Lower Golden Eagle. And obviously, in addition to these 37 core trails, we do try and mix in maintenance, and that happens more Sunday through Wednesday, so we can put trails back together. Believe it or not, when we have 10 to 15,000 skiers on a ski hill any given day, it's called snow going downhill and to the sides. So we do need to take time to put those slopes back together early on in the week when we may not have the volumes to be able to make sure that we're providing the guests best experience on those weekends. And so I think that's really all I've got with our grooming strategy. Oh, accuracy of grooming reports. Just so you're aware, that is a manual process that happens on the back end, whether it's going to the My Epic app or the website. So we are stacking hands, my team, and the people that get to control that and click down the buttons to have that up to date every day by 8 a.m. to ensure 100% accuracy so that you know exactly where you're going to find your fan favorite for that grooming and that world-renowned corduroy. And yeah, that's all I've got. I'm going to turn it over, I believe, to Paul to talk about transportation this upcoming season. Thanks so much.
Hi there, good morning. My name is Paul Gorbold, and I'm the Senior Manager of Transportation here at Beaver Creek, and I'm here to talk about how we get around this fantastic resort that we have. I got to push the button, that's right. So how do we move around the resort? First off, I'm going to start with some participant awards here. So I can't really see. I don't know if you can get the house lights up just a little bit, but I'm going to ask for some trivia. So I operate probably I saw Scott Robinson's back there. He's proud of his operation, but I think I operate the largest transportation operation potentially in the state, but maybe in the valley. And so how many passengers do we think that we transport system-wide here in Beaver Creek in a season? Any guesses? 400,000? Yeah, Dan. 1.4 mil. Not quite that much. Anybody else? A little bit higher than that, and I got a free day of Ford Hall parking for the winter. Higher? Higher? All right. I heard 1 million over there, so come down and get your parking. It's 1.16 million passengers from November to April. 1.16 million passengers from November to April. And that's in Beaver Creek, Bachelor Gulch, and Arrowhead. We'll get to another one here in just a minute. But we offer 365-day, 21.5-hour-a-day transportation to the resort communities through the Village Connect app. So 5:30 a.m. until midnight, you can jump on that app, book a ride, and we'll take you from wherever you are to wherever you want to go. If you don't have that app, use the QR code. You can scan it, get the app. We do have QR codes in all of the buses for the guests to be able to scan and reference. If you're coming through our base area lots, or if you're coming in for the day to ski, we do offer free shuttles from the Bear Lot, the Elk Lot, and the Wolf Lot and Little Bear Lot for employees. And those service hours are also listed up there. For employee parking, which really important for everybody here. If you have not already received the information from your manager, you have to scan the QR code or fill out the application for parking to receive your parking pass to be able to park in the Wolf Lot or the Little Bear Lot. You will have access to either one of those depending on where you work. You won't necessarily have access to both of those. So if you work up here in the village, you'll primarily be parking in the Wolf Lot, and if you work over in Bachelor Gulch, you'll primarily be parking in the Little Bear Lot. Then one other thing to note, if you do come in on Scott's great core transportation and you get off at one of the base area lots, please try and use the parking lot service to come up to the village and then book a ride from either Covered Bridge or Centennial Station to get to your place of employment if you're kind of outside of the village core. And then, what's staying the same this year? So we're not adjusting the rates in the base area lots, so it's $13 a day from whenever you arrive until 1 p.m. After 1 p.m., the base area lots do go free. None of the parking in the village hasn't changed. The rates haven't changed in the village. So for 1 to 3 hours, it's $25. 2 to 4 hours, it is $35, and 4 or more is $50. But if you're coming up in the evening and you want to go get a meal or you want to go do some shopping, you do get 4 hours of free parking after 4 p.m. And then, like I mentioned, it's free parking after 1 down in the base area lots. Everything is pay on entry, so you tap your credit card on the way in, and then you tap that same credit card on the way out, and it will charge you appropriately for however long you've been there. And then the last thing I'm going to end on is another free day of parking in Ford Hall. So how many parking spots do we have down in the base area lots? Close. 950, right here. There we go. All right, thank you all for your time. Reference those QR codes for the Village Connect app and your employee parking pass. I'm turning it over to Jim, talking more things Beaver Creek.
All right, everyone hanging in there? All right, all right. So we've covered a lot of ground. What I'd like to do is just touch on a handful of points that'll provide you access to some of this information as the season goes on, and a couple of smaller things that are really important to our guests, but we maybe didn't have the chance to call out in any of the specific discussions we had. So first, you've heard a couple references to This Week at Beaver Creek. This is our weekly newsletter. It goes out every Monday, and if you're not signed up, please do. You can share this QR code here. Get signed up for This Week at Beaver Creek. Comes out every Monday. It'll tell you what's going on this week. It's got a culinary corner. It'll tell you about any deals or specials in the culinary world. And we'll also have any retail specials that are going on shared in that newsletter. So it's a really helpful resource of information. The next one is the Beaver Creek app. Does everyone have the app? Who has the app? I can't see anything, but that looks pretty good. If you don't have the app, you should. It's great for us as employees to understand what's going on. You can access all the same things I talked about in the newsletter. You can access the Velar lineup. You can access our signature events and activations. You can really get all sorts of information off the app that's really relevant day in and day out. But more importantly, encourage our guests to get the app, because if they've got the app, they know exactly what's going on, and they can even get the on-the-fly updates from the app if they're here in the village. So that's another great resource for everybody. Okay, medical center. Something that we don't want to talk about a ton, but we do have a really great medical center here in the village. It's open all winter when the chairlifts are open. And it's obviously a great resource for anybody who might happen to have a mishap on the hill, but it's also there for guests who might need to walk in if they're not feeling well. It operates like an emergency room, but guests are welcome to stop in there if they need to see a doctor. You can read some of the specifics up here. It's open from 8:30 to 5 daily, along with the chairlift. So when the chairlift's open next Wednesday, it'll be open right through, I believe, April 13th, our closing day. So another great resource. It's located in the Strawberry Park condo building, which is right across from the covered bridge area, and you can access it by way of the snow level right up there at the bottom of the Strawberry Park lift. Core Transit, Paul referenced Core Transit a little while ago. Amazing local resource for getting around the valley. They have lots of free routes. They have a great route between Beaver Creek and Vail that runs daily, a skier shuttle. They have great free routes up and down the valley. Some of the routes, there is a fare for some routes, but a lot of the routes are fare-free. I think Scott's going to have a table up at at Ford Hall for the tasting, so you can definitely grab more information there. But I encourage you all to keep the schedule on your phone because it can be a really great resource for getting around. Another important resource we always like to share, a couple of years ago, we had Speak Up, Reach Out as our keynote speaker. We really like to make sure that everyone knows what resources are out there for all of our well-being. There's a handful of great resources in the Valley, super, super helpful. They help us take care of ourselves and take care of each other. It's really great to know that these are out there. We want to make sure you all have that reminder, and these folks will have a table up at Ford Hall as well. And last but not least, the Slopeside Lounge. Does everyone know about the Slopeside Lounge? Yeah? All right, good. Glad you're still out there. Slopeside Lounge is a really fantastic offering for our guests. It's sort of a day-by-day, almost club-like experience where they've got lockers, they do sort of a private cookie time, there's snacks available throughout the day, they have an on-the-snow ski valet for you when you're there, and you can also reserve parking in the village through this. Slopeside Lounge is a really, really great opportunity if anybody has any special accessibility needs, because they're able to have a great place to change, and they're also able to have that on-the-snow valet. Which leads me to our keynote topic for the day. In early 2024, the resort company decided to identify accessibility as a key strategic priority. Almost exactly a year ago, we were awarded a grant from the Colorado Tourism Office to participate in the Accessible Travel Program led by Wheel the World. The work we've completed over the last year has led to the development of an accessibility master plan that we're really happy to share with you today. We have two guests here with us that are going to help roll this out for us. I'm excited to welcome Andres Villagren, who's the head of marketing from Wheel the World, and Quayla Allen Camilla, who is an independent consultant leading the Accessible Tourism Program and is supporting us in the development of our master plan. So please help me welcome Camilla and Andres.
Hello, everyone. This is good? All right. Beaver Creek, you take my breath away, and it's part of the beauty, but also altitude. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and so I live near Aaron's hometown, so if I'm winded, just excuse me. All right, so I'll let Andres, you're the star. You want to use that one?
All right. Can you hear me? Yes. So I'm Andres. I'm from Chile. I live in San Francisco. We are thinking with my wife about moving here into this beautiful place. I've been in Wheel the World for 6 years, and I'm very excited about being here. So thank you so much for this invitation, really.
And again, I'm Quayla Allen Camilla, and I'm an independent contractor working with the CTO on the Accessible Travel Program, which Beaver Creek participated in last year, and also supporting the initiative for the master plan. And so we're super excited to be here. Andres has some great news.
Yes, so for the ones that you don't know, Wheel the World is a B2B2C accessibility ecosystem where we allow people with disabilities, their companions, and seniors to plan and book accessible travel experiences with verified accessibility information. So, as it was mentioned, like the work that you've been doing here is amazing. You have opened us your doors to verify this information such as bed height, type of shower. So I'm here personally with Quayla to congratulate you all because you have become the first ski destination in Colorado to become destination verified. And this means that people, before coming here, they will know what they will face. And that's super important because there is a lot of uncertainty around it. You don't know what you are going to face. Imagine you get an accessible room, and when you get to the hotel, that room is given away. You were waiting a rolling shower, but you don't get it, so maybe you are not going to shower in a week after you took a trip from New York. So this is very important, so I think you should all be proud about what you have done.
Yeah, please. And that's a big part of why we're talking about accessibility today. So as part of the Accessible Travel Program, 23 sites in Beaver Creek were mapped and verified, including this very beautiful venue that we're in. So Cameron was a big partner in that. Places like Hawks Nest, like the Village Connect, or the Village Transportation. So all of that information is on a really beautiful landing page on willtheworld.com that travelers with disabilities are using to find Beaver Creek. And another reason why we're talking about accessibility is because Colorado is over-indexing in travelers with disabilities. So last year, 23% of parties, overnight travelers, had a member in their party who required accessibility services. And the national norm is 18%. So people with disabilities, travelers with disabilities, love Colorado for the beauty, the outdoors. They're just like anyone else who really wants a place where they could thrive and enjoy. And so it's really important that we think about the ways in which this becomes a competitive advantage, not only for Beaver Creek, but for Colorado overall. And so there's a lot of conversations when we start talking about accessibility. It's like, how is this any different from ADA? And so in the disability community, there's a lot of discourse about ADA being kind of the floor. It's the bare minimum. These are standards that have been put in place by our government to ensure that people have equal access to a place. But we also know that disabilities are very unique to an individual, and so even if we all have the same bed height, depending on your disability, you might not be able to still access that bed or that shower. And so it's really important for us to start to think about the ways in which we can move that conversation along from compliance-based approach, so is this legal, equal treatment, minimal standards, to is this the right thing, like a more values-based approach. Thinking about aspirational standards, like having Beaver Creek become accessible for all, and having a tailored service to an individual that you might meet. And I love this image because it lays out exactly what people face. We want to move from the equality to equity and eventually a more justice-driven framework.
Yes, so we love saying that we believe it's not only the right thing to do, but also the smarter thing to do. There are a lot of people, millions of people traveling already, and they are not having the experience that they deserve, right? So it's a billions market. So yeah, everything starts with the information and also how we prepare ourselves to receive this community. Because it's, Kayla was saying, like it's not just people with disabilities, are their companions, and also the seniors, and the population is aging. We are all aging, so we are all gonna need at some point accessibility. So to make sure that we accomplish our promise of legendary attention to detail, we want to review some concrete guides, to make sure that everyone feels welcome.
Absolutely. Out of curiosity, does anyone know the percentage of Americans with disabilities? You could just shout it out. Yeah, 20 is close, 25%. So 1 in 4 US adults have disabilities, and that number keeps growing. Our populations, to Andre's point, are aging. By, I think it's 2040, we'll have more people over the age of 65 than under it. And so think about the folks in your lives who you see, aging and the support that they're gonna need in the future. Which brings us to inclusive hospitality. So the reality is you all are already crushing it. Even just the understanding that you all provide this legendary attention to detail, how do we expand that conversation to include even more inclusive hospitality? And so when we talk about inclusive hospitality, we're talking about creating an environment where guests find comfort and adventure regardless of their identities and abilities. And so that looks like providing that legendary attention to detail. Because of that, you also then drive destination perception that out of all the places to go in Colorado or in the States, people are gonna choose Beaver Creek because of the opportunities that they see here, just to live their fullest lives on the snow or in the village and everywhere in between. And then ultimately, we want to make sure that every guest just feels like they belong, not just because they have disabilities, but because they are here.
Yes, so as I was saying, and I'm going to be very repetitive, the problem and the solution is the information, verified accessibility information. So we don't like saying, and I think no one can say this is accessible and this is not accessible, because accessibility is not binary. You can have two people with the same disabilities and they can require completely different things. So it's all about the information that is put out there, and then we let people empower to choose if that will be something that they want to get or not. So also disability can vary in our life. As the examples you can see, like a skier with an injury. I guess there are many skiers here. Maybe some of you have had some injuries at some point of your life, and you have required accessibility, and you can see how this world is not designed for accessibility. So yeah, I think it's important to put the information out there and raise awareness about the topic. So just because we have 20 minutes, we are just focused quickly in just people with mobility needs. There are two kinds, non-ambulatory, semi-ambulatory. There are different equipments, there are different capacities and abilities regarding mobilities. You have non-ambulatory, as I said, someone unable to walk or move without assistance, and also semi-ambulatory, someone, a senior, with walkers, scooters, and wheelchairs.
Yeah. We wanted to put these images up here to also show that the people that we might think about when we talk about accessibility is varied. Like when we talk about accessibility, I always kind of overlook children. Like we don't ever think about like kids like being like one of the biggest proponents of accessibility, and their parents who are pushing them in strollers and supporting them, especially when you think about navigating the village. How many parents put their strollers down the escalators when the elevators are right there? Thinking about all the different types of support and information that we could provide to assist these groups. And so we're gonna go over just 4 easy things to consider as you go about your journey in accessibility and providing that inclusive hospitality this season. And all of these relate to travelers with mobility needs. Obviously, through the accessibility master plan, we'll talk a little bit more about the expansiveness, but for the sake of the conversation and for what you're seeing here in Beaver Creek, people with mobility needs are kind of our biggest population.
So I think the basic idea is we are all people, doesn't matter our abilities, backgrounds, anything, right? We are all people. So I think it's important to start from there. And this is funny because even in the community, there is a discussion about how to talk. But there are 2 main models, person first and identity first. Some people say, if my condition represents me, so I'm a disabled person, or some people don't like to identify with their disability, so they prefer to use someone or person with a disability. So it can vary, and yeah, when you are like talking with someone, just ask and yeah, ask the person like, what do you think? What's your opinion about it? How would you like me to treat you? But at the end, I think that needs to come natural, because again, we are all people, we are all wanting to be here to have a good time and skiing and have a good fun.
Absolutely. And I think a big part of preferred language too in the identity versus person first is that the reality is being a disabled person is not your sole identity. So you will see people, and even for myself, I identify as a Black woman, and I also happen to be neurodivergent. And so depending on the situation and the context, you can lead with different aspects of your identity. And if somebody corrects you, it's okay. You can just thank them for correcting you and just move on. You don't have to get into the spiral, I've upset you, and then everything starts to fall apart from there. It's just great to say, thank you so much. I will use that language moving forward. The second is facilitate affirming interactions. I think the biggest thing that we want to be mindful of is that we're not providing inclusive hospitality just to people with disabilities, and we also don't want to single them out and make them feel like the only reason why you're going above and beyond is because they are disabled. And so always introduce yourself. We want to drive towards connection. Being able to say, hey, I'm Quayla, I work here, I'm so excited you're here. What is your name? You don't ever want to just diminish their identity down to their ability. And so make sure that you first lean into that connection. You want to also be sure that you are making enough space between you and the person. So if you are talking to somebody in a wheelchair and you are standing over top of them, it also requires them to kind of strain to look up and to have a conversation with you. So make sure that you just take a step back, ensure that you're able to see and maintain that eye contact, and also, and if you have shorter conversations, it's totally fine to stand. But if it's a longer conversation or something that you're helping them with, feel free to take a seat, have that eye-to-eye connection, and then be able to assist them that way. Which also goes into directing your attention to the right person. What you never, ever, ever want to do is to ignore the person with a disability and speak to their companion first. It's great to introduce yourself to all the parties involved, but when you are talking about their needs and finding accommodations, you are always talking to the person with the disability. And this also includes people who may use sign language interpreters. The interpreter is listening to you, and so you don't have to look directly at them. And so just making sure that you always direct your attention to the right person. And then ultimately, speak at a normal tone and speed. There's something really crazy about the way our brains work sometimes, where if you're talking to somebody with a disability, it makes you want to raise your voice or speak very slowly, and that kind of assumes somebody's intellectual capacity, and you never want to do that. If somebody wants you to speak up, they will ask, so just maintain your tone and your speed so it continues to facilitate an affirming interaction. And then some of the questions that you can ask, again, driving towards connection. What is your name? What brings you here? Is there anything I could do to make your stay a great one? These are just the basic common concepts of hospitality that go a long way for everyone. And the behaviors to model include making it personal, again, which is why you want to talk and ask for their name, maintaining that eye and verbal contact with the person with a disability, and maintaining your tone and speed in the process.
Yes, and assist with care. I don't know if it has happened to you. I started this journey in Will the World 6 years ago, and I used to get very nervous sometimes interacting. I've been always involved with the hospitality industry, so when I was facing some situations, I didn't know how to face them. And again, I always come back to the idea that we are all people, we are all giving our best, and we are all learning. Just the fact of opening the doors and treat everyone equally, that's it. I think that's the biggest win. So always talk with clarity, respect. There are some disabilities that you cannot see, so let's don't assume. autonomy. It has happened to me like at the beginning when you see someone trying to go up in a ramp or you see someone in a wheelchair complicated. I used to tend to get there and grab the wheelchair and yeah, like I always receive like, thank you, but no, leave me alone. I want to do it by myself. So I think a good action is always ask. Do you need help? Is there something that I can do for you? Last month, actually in Denver, it was Anthony, someone with visual disabilities, and she was like a bit lost in the lobby. So I used to tend to go and grab his arm, and yeah, man, it's this way. But now, again, like asking first is, hey, Anthony, this is Andres, very nice to meet you. Do you need some help? The reception is in your left, not in your right. So yeah, it's always very appreciated. And then, yeah, the equipment. I think the equipment, as I said, for the wheelchair or any equipment is part of people's identity. So a wheelchair is like your shoes. So it's where you navigate this world. So always, always make sure that you ask first, touching anything.
Yeah. I think it goes back to, we always say, like, treat people the way you want to be treated. And it's like, no, treat people the way they want to be treated. And take yourself out of it and only figure out ways that you can support them to their needs. So what does that look like in action?
So yeah. Always ask, do you need assistance? What would you like me to do? And there is, like in my mind, something that helps me a lot is always respect. Don't assume, right? Integrate. Make sure that people is feeling welcome. We don't want to make a weird situation out of nothing, because at the end, again, disability is just the lack of ability of something, so nothing to worry about.
And lastly, we're going to be mindful of service animals. So this is one topic that I feel like there's a lot of conversation around, specifically because we see animals, we put animals in 3 categories. So there's the pet category, there's the emotional support assistant category, and then there's service animals. And throughout the village, you can actually see in the special event rules what the definitions of these animals are. And so obviously pets, we know pets to be pets, they're great. And then you have folks who will, elevate their pet to a new status of emotional support, whether it's through their own knighting, if you will, or therapist or practitioner who recognizes the value that a pet brings to a person and their needs. However, in the U.S., and especially under ADA laws, emotional support animals are considered pets. And so you will come up against probably people who are like, this is definitely a service animal because he provides me a lot of emotional support, which is great, but under the guise of not only our rules in the village, but also ADA laws, emotional support animals are considered pets. And so any rules around pets, they have to follow. Versus service animals who are specifically trained in various tasks, whether it's helping to pull a wheelchair or helping if someone's having a meltdown and applying that pressure to their body, or reminding them about medicine, things like that. Service animals are working animals. They are not considered pets. And so they're also trained for all different types of abilities, including for folks who have mobility needs. And so if you see and engage with somebody with a service animal, do stand on the opposite side of where the animal is. You can pay attention to their behavior. Sometimes service animals who are trying to get assistance for their person, they might bark at you, they might nudge you, and it's not them being unruly. They are trying to grab your attention because their person needs help or assistance. And then also clarify. If you are unsure, you can ask respectful questions to make sure that we all know that this is an animal trained for a very specific task. But absolutely don't offer any treats or pets, which is really hard because animals are very cute. I always have to tell my husband, do not touch this dog. It is, you just like beelines to this animal. And so you don't want to do that because they are working animals, and you never want to assume their purpose or their role. So in action, there are 2 questions that are totally acceptable when clarifying an animal's role. And these are the only 2 questions that you are allowed to ask. And the first is this assistance animal required because of disability? And the only 2 responses is yes or no. And if they say yes, then you follow up with what task is your animal trained to do? And people with service animals can articulate exactly the role of that animal. People who might have emotional support animals will just probably flub through it, and it might not be so clear. And so you want to make sure that you direct both groups to the appropriate resources. Obviously, service animals are legally allowed to enter spaces, restaurants, stores, and what have you. And then for emotional support and pets, you can just refer to the village kind of rules there. And you're never, ever, ever allowed to ask, what disability is this pet supporting? And so behaviors to model here: don't pet or distract the animal, focus always on the guest, and always make sure that you're maintaining a safe distance. So in closing, Andres, you want to take us home?
Yes, so will the world start in Patagonia, in the most inaccessible place of the world? We did a 4-day trekking and we use a lot of creativity. We are in Beaver Creek. The world is here in terms of accessibility. Beaver Creek is here. So have fun, feel proud about what you have a beautiful season, and always ask, respect, and integrate.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And ultimately be the reason why somebody chooses Beaver Creek again. Thank you all so much.
Awesome. Thank you.
And we're going to pass it over to Aaron, who's going to talk about a very fun village crawl opportunity that has some accessibility insights to as well.
Amazing. Let's give it up one more time for Aquela and Andreas. It gives me chills, everyone. It gives me absolute chills just learning about where we are and what we can do to be even more inclusive in our accessible hospitality. So, as you know, it's tradition. We're gonna do a village crawl. Yeah, but first and foremost, we gotta do a thank you to those who support us for our mini grand tasting. As you can see, we have 10 amazing partners of our 20+ restaurants here in the village. So I cannot wait to get to those folks at the Park Hyatt. And then I also want to do a big thank you to our other supporters, because unlike in years past, we have not done the raffle all throughout. So I'm just going to do a quick rundown of what you can anticipate for our raffle prizes. We got raffles from 8100, Alpine and Antlers, Alpine Kind, Base Mountain Sports, Beaver Creek Generation Beef, Beaver Creek Gear, Blue Moose Pizza, Beaver Creek Chop House. I can't read my own handwriting. Charlie's T-shirts, Coyote Cafe, Dusty Boot, Eyepieces, House of Cuckoo, Hooked, Minturn Whiskey, Rimini, Slopeside Lounge, we already did Villar Performing Arts Center. And for our grand prize, the $599 flight voucher from our Merchants Association. Oh yeah, baby. So now that we've learned a little bit about our accessible travel and our hospitality initiatives, we get to put these in action through our village crawl. We get to be stewards of our inclusive hospitality. So we're gonna highlight key areas of our village that can be impactful to our accessible and inclusive guest experience. And we're going to kind of show you some important areas that we need to be aware of and point out to our guests as well. So at check-in, you received a little card, right? Everyone got one of those in your pocket? Let's pull those out. Let's pull those bad boys out. Can we turn the house lights up a little bit? Who has a Group 1 ticket? Okay, Group 1. I need you to rise. I need you to put on your coats. I need you to not leave anything here in the Villar Center. And I need you to go find Clint Huber. He's going to be your Group 1 leader. He's going to be upstairs in the bus turnaround. So all my Group 1 folks, you're getting your coats on, and you're going to go meet Clint Huber up in the bus turnaround. He's going to have a sign for you, a Group 1 sign. Go meet Clint Huber up in the bus turnaround. While number 1s are leaving, who has number 2 in your pockets? Start getting your coats on. Number 2s. Number 2s. You are going to go meet Nick Osborne. I just sounded so Minnesotan there. Nick Osborne. Number 2s, Nick Osborne. Go meet Nick Osborne up in the bus turnaround. Number 2s, you guys are going to be my number 2 group. You guys are going to do the village crawl together, meet new people, make new friends, keep the old. What's that? Let's sing that song. Make new friends. Some are silver and the others gold. Right? Yeah, good job. I was a Girl Scout once. Number 3s, let's get your coats on. Number 3s. Group 3s. Okay, Group 3s, get your coats on. Let's not leave anything here. Just remember, Group 3s, don't leave anything here. You guys are going to go meet Saul. Saul upstairs in the bus turnaround. Go look for Saul upstairs in the bus turnaround. Okay, we'll wait a little bit. I don't have any stand-up comedy for Group 3. Sorry. Okay, Group 4. Who are my 4s? Okay. Group 4. Let's start standing up, Group 4s. Get all your stuff, all your gear ready. You guys are going to meet Allison Bueller upstairs in the lobby. Group 4s, you are with Allison in the lobby. If you guys want to trade for 7, you're with me. So wheeling and dealing. You guys can wheel and deal. I mean, slip me a 20 and you can be with my group. Just kidding. Group 5s, ticket 5s. Just guys, make sure you fill these out. These are your grand raffle prize tickets. So keep them. You're not done with these. Group 5, stand up. Rise, Group 5. You are with Casey in the lobby upstairs. Group 5, go find Casey Wydra. Group 6. Yep, Group 6. All rise. Objection. Just kidding. All rise, Group 6. You are with Carly. Meet Carly up in the lobby upstairs. Go find Group 6, Carly. And last but not least, Group 7. Woo! Group 7, yeah! You guys are with me. I got you here. Ha ha ha. Okay, Group 7, I got you right down here. You guys are with me. We're gonna go crawling.